On the morning of August 24th, 79 AD, Pompeii was a functioning Roman city. By nightfall, it had ceased to exist. Not burned, not abandoned, buried, exactly as it was, under 20 feet of volcanic ash. What followed is one of the most significant archaeological stories in recorded history. Pompeii was founded around the 7th century BC, most likely by the Oscan people, an ancient Italic tribe. Over the following centuries, it passed through Greek and Samnite control, before becoming a Roman colony in 80 BC, following the Social War. By the 1st century AD, it had grown into a significant regional centre. Archaeological evidence shows the city had a sophisticated urban infrastructure. A forum at its centre, an amphitheatre capable of holding 20,000 spectators, 2 theatres, multiple temples, and an extensive network of paved roads. The city had over 80 bakeries. It had thermopolia, commercial food establishments where hot meals were served from built-in stone counters, not unlike modern street food stalls. Public fountains fed by a pressurized lead pipe system supplied fresh water at regular intervals throughout the city. Over 10,000 pieces of graffiti have been recorded on Pompeii's walls. They document political campaigns, personal disputes, declarations of affection, and everyday complaints, providing historians with a rare, unfiltered record of Roman public life. Mount Vesuvius stood roughly 9 kilometers north of the city. The Romans had no understanding of volcanic activity. There was no Latin word for volcano. The mountain was simply part of the landscape, fertile, familiar, and entirely unthreatening in the minds of those who lived beneath it. In 62 AD, a significant earthquake caused widespread damage across the region. Pompeii was still in the process of rebuilding when Vesuvius erupted 17 years later. In the weeks preceding the eruption, minor tremors were recorded and wells ran dry. Such occurrences were not unusual for the region and raised little concern. On the 24th of August, 79 AD, according to the most widely accepted historical account, Vesuvius entered its Plinian eruption phase at approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A column of ash, pumice, and volcanic gas was expelled upward at an estimated rate of 1.5 million tons per second, reaching a height of approximately 30 kilometers into the atmosphere. The energy released has been estimated at 100,000 times that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. For the first several hours, the primary hazard was falling pumice and ash. Roof collapses killed a number of residents. Many people evacuated during this phase. Others remained indoors, sheltering from the debris. The critical turning point came in the early hours of the following morning. The eruption column destabilized and collapsed, generating a series of pyroclastic density currents, fast-moving avalanches of superheated gas, ash, and rock fragments. The first surges destroyed the nearby town of Herculaneum. By approximately 7:30 in the morning, the 4th pyroclastic surge reached Pompeii. Moving at speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour and carrying temperatures in excess of 300 degrees Celsius. It killed the remaining population within minutes. The city was ultimately buried under approximately 4 to 6 meters of volcanic material. It would remain there, largely undisturbed, for the next 1,670 years. The rediscovery of Pompeii was gradual rather than sudden. In 1748, during construction work commissioned by King Charles III of Spain, who ruled the Kingdom of Naples at the time, workers uncovered walls, frescoes, and artifacts consistent with a Roman settlement. Systematic excavation began shortly after. What emerged over the following decades was extraordinary. Structures were found largely intact. Wall paintings retained their original colour. Food remained in storage vessels. Personal belongings lay where they had been left. The preservation was the result of specific conditions created by the eruption. The volcanic ash acted as an airtight seal, protecting organic materials from decomposition. Items that would normally survive only centuries had endured for nearly 2 millennia. Pompeii quickly became one of the most studied archaeological sites in the world, attracting scholars, artists, and tourists from across Europe. It also became a significant influence on neoclassical art and architecture throughout the 18th and 19th centuries. The excavations at Pompeii have been ongoing for nearly 3 centuries. What they have produced goes well beyond physical structures. Pompeii has provided historians with a detailed, evidence-based picture of Roman urban life that written sources alone cannot offer. Analysis of skeletal remains has revealed data on diet, health, life expectancy, and disease patterns. Isotope studies of teeth have indicated that a significant portion of Pompeii's population were not native to the region. Evidence of the population movement and diversity common across the Roman Empire. The distribution of imported goods found throughout the city, ceramics from North Africa, wine from Spain, fish sauce from across the Mediterranean, reflects Pompeii's role as an active node in Roman trade networks. Among the most significant methodological developments in Pompeii's excavation history was the technique pioneered by archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli in 1863. Fiorelli identified hollow voids within the hardened ash, cavities left by decomposed organic matter, including human bodies. By injecting liquid plaster into these voids, he produced detailed three-dimensional casts of individuals at the moment of death. To date, over 1,000 such casts have been produced. They document body positions, clothing details, and in some cases facial expressions. They remain among the most direct physical records of human experience in the ancient world. Despite nearly 3 centuries of excavation, approximately a third of Pompeii remains unexcavated. Current archaeological policy deliberately preserves these areas, partly to protect them from the deterioration that exposure can cause, and partly to allow future researchers access to materials using more advanced techniques. Recent excavations continue to produce significant findings. In 2021, a fully intact thermopolium was uncovered with traces of food still present in its serving vessels, including remnants of duck, pig, fish, and snails. DNA and isotope analysis of these materials is providing new data on Roman diet and food preparation methods. Skeletal remains discovered in 2023 are contributing to a revised understanding of the eruption's timeline, specifically how long some individuals survived after the initial pyroclastic events. Even the date of the eruption remains a subject of academic debate. The most commonly cited date, the 24th of August, derives from a letter written by Pliny the Younger, an eyewitness to the event. However, physical evidence found during excavations, including autumnal fruits, braziers in use for heating, and heavier clothing on some victims, has led a number of researchers to propose that the eruption occurred in October rather than August. Modern excavation of Pompeii now employs ground-penetrating radar, 3D scanning, and multispectral imaging, technologies that allow archaeologists to study the site with a level of precision not possible in earlier centuries. The data being gathered is expected to inform research for decades to come. Pompeii occupies a unique position in the archaeological record. It is not the oldest site ever excavated, nor the largest, nor the most architecturally complex. What distinguishes it is the specificity of what it preserved, a single city on a single day, captured in detail that no other site in the world can match. In the nearly 3 centuries since its rediscovery, it has fundamentally shaped our understanding of Roman urban life, trade, public health, social structure, and daily experience. And with a third of the city still unexcavated, that process is far from complete. What remains beneath the surface of that field in southern Italy will, in time, be uncovered. And when it is, it will almost certainly revise what we think we know. Pompeii has been studied for nearly 300 years. It is still not finished telling us what happened,